Okay, we're going to do this in about 15 minutes. So here we go. What are 4 mathematical things you know about the function x squared plus 3x plus 1? So I graphed it on Desmos. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so there is the graph. A little hard to see. There's the graph of x squared plus 3x plus 1. I suddenly know a ton of things about it. I know that it's a parabola. I know it has a vertex at negative 1.5, negative 1.25. I could zoom in and find the zeros at negative 2.618 and negative 0.382. I know that it has an axis of symmetry at x equals negative 1.5. I know that its domain is minus infinity to infinity. I know that its range is negative 1.25 to infinity. It's not even. It's not odd. It actually doesn't have any of our symmetries, x-axis, y-axis, or origin. It is a function, but does not have an inverse function because it passes the vertical line test but fails the horizontal line test. And that's about what I know about it. I could do the quadratic formula to find those zeros exactly, but I'm not going to. Okay, let's keep going. Number 2, how does this graph compare to that graph? Well, it's going to be the same graph, shifted right 5 and up 7. That's it. Does the graph below represent a function? The answer is no. It fails the vertical line test. Done. You don't need to do the second part. Question 4. Write an equation of a line that goes through 2, 7 and it has slope 3. Well, to start with this one, we're going to do point slope form. So y equals 3. Sorry, y minus 7 is 3, x minus 2. That's good enough, but if you want to keep going, y minus 7 is 3x minus 6. So y is 3x plus 1. Done. Question 5. That's f and g. Find f plus g, f minus g, f times g, f divided by g. F plus g, you would get 3x minus 9 plus x minus 3. That is 4x minus 12. F minus g, you get 3x minus 9 minus x minus 3. Make sure to have parentheses there. A lot of people didn't do that. That is 2x minus 6. F times g, 3x minus 9 times x minus 3. You could FOIL that out, I'm not going to make you. And f divided by g, 3x minus 9 over x minus 3. That one actually just turns out to be 3. Because the top up there is 3 times x minus 3. Now for domains, minus infinity to infinity, minus infinity to infinity, minus infinity to infinity. This one, though, it's minus infinity to 3. This is a parentheses, not a bracket. Union 3 to infinity, because you have to pull that 3 out. Done. Next one, number 6. F of x is x plus 7. G of x is 3x plus 11. Find f of g of x and g of f of x. So for f of g of x, that means I want to put g of x in for x. So I'm going to do 3x plus 11 plus 7 is 3x plus 18. And g of f of x means I'm going to do 3 of x plus 7 plus 11, which is 3x plus 32. When you work it all out. Question 7. Find the equation of the inverse of f of x is the cube root of x minus 5. So we replace f of x with y, switch x and y, solve for y. So cube both sides. Add the 5 over. Now replace y with f inverse. f inverse of x is x cubed plus 5. Number 8, 2 plus 3i, 1 minus 5i. You can FOIL that and work it out. Or you can just use the calculator. 17 minus 7i. Number 9, for the quadratic function below, does it open up or down? Does it have a max or min? What's the domain of the function? What's the range of the function? There is the quadratic, negative 2x squared plus 10x plus 28. So I graphed that on Desmos. I knew the answer to up or down was down, so I knew it had a max. Then for domain, I knew that was minus infinity to infinity. The only reason to graph it would be to find the range. And to do that, I need to find where the vertex is so that I know how high it goes. So it's going to be negative infinity to however high the vertex goes. So you could either use the vertex formula to find that, or if you just graph it on Desmos, you can see as high as it goes is 40.5. So the range is going to be negative infinity to 40.5 with a bracket on the 40.5. Done. Number 10, find the domain of each of these. Write the answers in interval notation. Minus infinity to infinity on that one. And this one, you just can't have negative 3. So it's minus infinity to negative 3, union negative 3 to infinity. And again, these are parentheses, not brackets. Give an example of an even function, graph it, and explain how you know it's even. Here's one, x squared plus 4. What does the graph look like? Well, the graph looks like the parabola moved up. How do I know it's even? It has y-axis symmetry. Done. Or I could do the test. If I replace x with negative x, it would get squared. It would just be x squared still. You get the same equation. A line is parallel to the line 3x plus 2y equals 7 and has y-intercept of 5. Find the equation of the line. So the parallel part tells you it has the same slope as this. The slope of this line is negative 3/2 because if you solve for y, you get negative 3/2 x plus something. So it's negative 3/2 is the slope. Well, if I'm trying to get slope-intercept form, all I need is the slope and the intercept. I gave you the intercept. So our new line is negative 3/2 x plus 5. Done. And then it's hard to miss number 13, although some people did. Okay, that's it. I'm done. 7 minutes and 53 seconds.